or by watching like deconstruction videos. Yes? Cloud? Welcome home, Cloud. Hi, Mom. Come, let me have a look at you. You look so handsome. So this is a soldier uniform. Ruby tried that too. Don't talk to me about Ruby. Don't do that. Don't press that button. That's a warning. That's a genuine warning. Don't press that fucking button. My, how you've grown. I was there when it was made. I was there when the first trailer dropped. I was there when the first episode was released. I was there. Me! I'll bet the girls never leave you alone. Yes, it did actually happen, but it's not the soldier part of it. Not really. I'm worried about you. There are a lot of temptations in the city, see? I'd feel a lot better if you just settled down with a nice girlfriend. I'm alright. You should have an older girlfriend, one that'll take care of you. I think that would be best for you. No, I am being half serious. Don't bring up Ruby around me. Don't do that. That is a document. That is a whole ass video talking about how fuck, you hit the button. Shit. No, fuck off. You hit the button. You did it. You hit the button. You hit the button. Like there's no going back now. The button's been hit. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Unhit the button? Too fucking bad. You hit the goddamn button. RWBY came out in like 2013, around that time, and it was really, really good. But the reason it was really, really good is because Monty Ohm was the animator behind it. He was a great, fantastic animator. He had a huge, like a fuck ton of passion, and most of it came out of fucking, not Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. That movie inspired so much of his work, and he was an incredible animator. And you know what happened? Is not that he passed away. That is not the problem with RWBY. RWBY's problem started way earlier. And where they started was nobody knew what the fuck they were doing with it. No one had any clue what RWBY was doing. Not a thing. RWBY came out and what they did was, hey, I want them to fight here. I want them to fight here. I think if we did a fight here, it would be cool. Hey, we need a moment to explain this thing. And that's what they did. And they were just kind of lackadaisically going forward with whatever fucking story they wanted. And the reason we liked it was because the fights were cool. Imagine with me for a second, you take RWBY, remove the fights. That story sucked ass. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It was a badly written show from the very beginning. But the reason we gave a shit was because the fights were sick and they were reasonably loosely tied together. What's that? We want them to fight a big bird monster and a scorpion? Well, let's have them go out into the forest for some kind of training exercise where we can turn everybody into a team. And it just so happens that the team of all the main characters end up with each other. Who would have guessed? Who would have thought of it? Who would have assumed? It is mired in tropes, in just like writing bullshit. Agreed. No, I agree with Hollowed, actually. Kind of, oddly enough. Because here's the thing that's always bothered me, is that people always will say that even after Monty Ohm's passing, like RWBY was always intended to go the direction it was going. And I say that is okay. I don't mind that it gets dark. I don't mind that Beacon falls. I don't mind that the characters freak the fuck out on each other constantly. I don't care. What I do care about is that it lost its soul the second Monty Ohm wasn't doing the animation anymore. And the second that like Crescent Rose stopped transforming, There's a specific moment, by the way, where Crescent Rose stops transforming and it just auto pops up into Scythe mode, and it is always in Scythe mode. And the second they started doing that, and the fights got boring and sleepy and obnoxious, and it's just a whole room of people standing around kind of looking at each other, that's when RWBY went to shit. Because again, it lost its soul, which was Monty Ohm's animation. They didn't get anybody to come back in and start doing wacky, wild, over-the-top, crazy technical animation anymore. They just kept the story going. And the story was the weakest part of it. It's the equivalent of taking something like Monster Hunter Freedom Unite and removing all of the gameplay out of it. If you remove the gameplay out of Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, there is no story. There's nothing there. If you remove the fights from RWBY, what is it really about, honestly? A young girl who gets, introduced to a fighting academy early because she, stood up to a terrorist who's stealing, crystal dust for some reason, and it's never really explained because their plan is dumb? Why are they stealing dust in the first place when their whole goal is to just make everybody panic in a giant stadium arena in a world with monsters that are attracted to extreme emotion? Huh? Why are you doing that? Why is that what you're doing? Oh, Bubby, why are you doing that? I never said you should do that, Bubby. Why you doing that? You made me turn into a Jewish grandmother. Why you doing that to me? Oh, Bobby. No, you can't do that. Why? And you know why? Because Monty Ohm only ever cared about doing animation. I don't want to, put shit on his name, but that's genuinely it. You can really tell a lot of the time that certain fight scenes were just set up purely for the fun bit, and they were making a show out of it. That's all it was. It's the equivalent of me doing fight scenes between characters, and that's kind of it, right? Which is something I don't really like doing. I like having a reason for characters to fight. I like emotional stakes to my fights, and that's kind of what Monty wanted as well, which is why they made a show to begin with. But the writers, the people that were still in charge of RWBY after his passing, they were the most egotistical, self-aggrandizing pieces of shit imaginable. I'm sorry if you like them. I never did. Because, I'm sorry, one of them just so happens to voice a main character who is not actually in the fucking name of the show. Why is Team Juniper the main characters of RWBY? Why aren't we following RWBY and her struggle to become a better leader? Why are we following Jean and his will they won't they relationship with Pyrrha? Why are we doing that? Why do we care? I want to watch more RWBY. Well, you know why? It's because RWBY is a competent fighter. Her whole team is a bunch of competent fighters. John is the underdog who doesn't know anything, lied his way into it. It's almost like, when you really look at it, RWBY should have been Jean. Think about it for a second, right? RWBY is a year behind everybody else. She is not supposed to be going to Beacon Academy yet. She is behind everyone. Yet she already has a weapon, already fights monsters at a high enough level that she's able to kill a bunch of wolves all on her own, by the way, fighting grim wolves all by herself for free, no reason, no payment, not her job. Why does she need school? She's already capable enough as is. And Jean is just like, I don't know anything because I lied to get in here. It's like, do the same thing for RWBY. Make it so that she gets like bumped up so soon that a lot of the fundamentals are lost on her because, you know, she's just naturally gifted, but learning the specifics of how something works. It's like the thing I was talking about with art the other day, right? Where it's like, you can know how to do stuff, but you don't know why you're doing the stuff. That should have been RWBY. She should have known the stuff, but not known why she was doing the stuff, and then people could have explained the stuff to her. Fundamentally, on just like a narrative level, RWBY's world building was just garbage, just bad. It was just really bad. The whole like faunus racism thing, really bad, really horribly handled, by the way, really stupid. Because yeah, I guess racism and like slavery is just like cool in your world, I guess. It doesn't matter if the guy that has like the slaves is an asshole. It's like apparently normalized, except for the entire region that is built around the slave people, which is also a very tropical. Why are you why are you writing it like that? Why are you doing that, my guy? Like I think RWBY was great for its fights. I genuinely think RWBY was great for its fights. And season 3 was okay because it felt like they had at least like a little bit of a grasp on what Monty was capable of. But after his passing, like it lost the soul. That's it. That's all that happened to it. Because again, think of every single post Monty fight and really think about how much more he could have ramped it up. Not how the story would have been different, but how those fights could have been interesting. I'm sorry, why is Weiss just standing still, casting spells in a giant room with all of the bad guys and everyone's fighting each other like they're doing a synchronized dance with their singular partner, instead of everybody working together in a wide open field and doing crazy things? Hold on, I gotta pull up the example. Hold on. RWBY versus Ravenclaw. What is it? Nevermore. That's what it's called. So we got this one. Hold on. I'm probably gonna get claimed for this. I don't care. And then what's the other one? RWBY fight in the manor. After the trailers in Emerald Forest. Yeah, pretty much. I'm trying to think of like I stopped watching it way before this. I just remember it coming out and being bad. Also, the food fight one was really good. Food fight's really fun. Neo's Tea Party. RWBY versus Neo and her illusions. Vernal? I don't know names. Assault on Schnee Manor. No, it's like the fight. Weiss gets stabbed. Okay, up. Weiss versus Vernal. Okay, here it is. All right, hold on. I gotta skip to a very specific part. All right, ready?
I have a plan. Cover me! We gotta move.
Okay, they managed to kill this at some point. I want this part. All right, ready? These are students, by the way. These are kids. They're still training. They're not fully fledged warriors. They're not fully fledged huntresses yet.
you would come up with this idea.
Think you can make the shot?
Can I?
Of course I can.
Even like a little bit of comedy mixed in. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What's happening here? Oh, is this like sick as fuck? I'm sorry. Compared to,
I'm more than a name.
Prove it.
Yeah? Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, we're really doing... Yup, she's like summoning a guy. There's like a wall there. Uh-huh.
Don't think I'm going to let you take the
By the way, just to reiterate very quickly, actually, you know what? Because it's Vice. Why does Maya Ruby look so gross? I don't know, actually. Let's do, like, here. All right. All right, so ready? Same character by the way. I speak German, so yeah. Same. So that versus even just Did you see it? 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 Fedora's going on. The fedora is going on. Did you see it? Did you see it with your eyes? Did you see it with your eyes? Did your eyeballs see it? Oh. Oh, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why are you stupid? Why are you fucking dumb? I'm sorry. And like, these animators got paid way more than I've ever gotten paid for animation. But like, do the thing. Do the dumbest fucking thing. What is this? What is that? What is that? What in the fresh fuck is that? What is this? What is that? That's called hurting your fucking wrist, you dumb, stupid bitch. Why are you doing that? Don't fucking do that. Do that with your hand, by the way, with me, very quickly. Fucking rotate your wrist around and like angle your hand down. Do you feel how not your arm is supposed to bend like that, by the way? Do you genuinely feel how your arm does not want to be spent in that direction, regardless of what it's holding? That's a strain on your arm. You don't do that. You're not going to get any power out of jamming something into the ground like that. You know how you do that? Hold on. I told you. It's a document. It's a fucking document. Oh my god. Ruby, you're killing me. Honey. If you want something to feel like it's got weight, you need to give it a good chunk of fucking heft behind it. Guess what? Doing a little bit of a this action fucking sucks. Why are you doing this? Is that even the way her hand is? Hold on. No, it is. Oh my God, that's actually how her hand is rotated. Oh my gee, why are you doing that? Your arm doesn't do that. Ow! Ow! Why are you doing that to yourself, honey? Ow! You know how it's so easy. You know how you'd make that better? Especially because she's in a desperate move. Hand positioning probably isn't the most important thing right now over just slamming that shit. Hey, this has more oomph than whatever is happening here. This shit sucks ass. Why are you doing that when your arms can be equal and go boom? Hey, when King Arthur pulls the sword out of the stone, it goes up. He grabs it lengthwise with both hands and goes up. That's like a natural motion. Same thing with slamming anything down. Hey, if you're gonna like slam an axe down, or you're gonna put a pole in the ground, like you're gonna stick a flag in the ground or some shit, your hands are gonna be upright. You're not gonna flip one hand down. You lose so much fucking momentum out of that because your arm doesn't bend that way, you dumb cunt. I had to stop myself. I had to stop myself. I don't know how many people are okay with that C word. I'm comfortable with it, but I know a lot of people aren't. Also, again, like, all right, fundamentals of animation, by the way, very quickly. This loses so much weight. Again, we're gonna go back to this really quick. Hey, so like here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay? Here's the thing. Ready? It's called weight.
Nora, nailed it. Heads up.
All right. Because of viewable content, not viewable content, but like viewable context, if you will. We clearly get this shot here. We're going to bring it down. All right, ready? All right. Pyrrha launches Nora up into the air. We see how much pressure because of the ground breaking with how much she got shot up. Not only from Pyrrha's jump, but also from Nora's bullet. Nora hits this high velocity, says hello to the camera, hang times for a second, and then we get this. She's in frame, no longer in frame. She has gone out of the frame. So now again, we know that she's moving at a very fast speed. And we see from multiple angles. And look at that. Look at that stretch that we got going on that hammer. That's how you get some good motion blur out of that shit, right? Again, look at the distance that she has to travel. Also, this is in 60 frames per second, so I guess that's what's happening with the... And the entire descent, we see her motion. And then we see the aftermath, which is this crazy big slam, right? Big slam, all these characters jump. Wait, comedy, too. Wait and comedy. Perfect. Ready? All right, so she's building like a wall for some reason. I don't know what she thinks the wall is going to do in this house. And then that right there. This is a close-up shot for an emotion. Even just like, again, it's how lazy. I'm sorry, I don't want to call it lazy because again, like I know I haven't made an animation in a while, but it's like they didn't move the hand rig. This rig did not move. They did not adjust the hand position. This is still the same rig. And look. Do you look how little anticipation there is in this frame? Like her eyes widen and she stabs and she just drops into the ground. We don't follow this full motion with her, right? But we see the aftermath of the motion, which has this little shaky shake. And then, like, for whatever reason, it takes its sweet fucking time. You know what I kind of want to do? I'm gonna put my shit on the fucking test here. Y'all are gonna learn. Y'all are gonna fucking learn one way or a fucking another. Can I pull that up, please? I guess that doesn't want to work for me for some reason. Y'all are gonna. You know what? Impromptu animation for like a moment. Here, we're gonna do Find the Flame.
Together, then.
I'm gonna do this really quick.
It's time to find out who we are, once and for all.
Come on. Because I'm sorry, I'm a little baby animator. I didn't get paid by fucking WD whoever the fuck to make a good fight scene. So how do we start this? Alright, so we got Weiss here. I told you, it's a document. Alright, so we're gonna draw our character here. I'm actually gonna go for like a lower size. Step one, she's tired, so we're gonna give her a little bit of a spaced out leg deal. And here's our sword. All right, we're referencing this, okay? So all of this happened. This whole motion happens here, okay? So I'm gonna try and animate this on like 4s, so I'm not killing myself. Hold on, I have to reference it for my own sake. It's a good thing I own swords. So if I'm holding a sword, it's in my left hand? Is it mirrored? This has to be mirrored, right? No, it's not. Wait, what? Why is it not mirrored? Wait, what? Wait, it's not mirrored. Wait, why is her sword in her left hand? Is she left-handed? What? Why? Okay. Got it. Ready? All right, so that's on 4s. Okay, so she hits this pose, and then they zoom in on her, right? So we're probably there for a second. So I'm actually gonna let them settle into this pose a little bit. All right, so now we're gonna get a zoom in shot and we're gonna go right center. And we're gonna get that same downward angle and we're gonna get their hand in front of their face. I got you. It's not the exact song, but I'll send you the link to it. Alright, so then we're here for like 4 frames. We get this eye open shot of like being like resilience or whatever.
One last time.
Just like that, right? Because again, we're in this like weird off angle here. And she like clasps it, and then she opens her eyes and gets all serious. And then immediately drops. Right? So now what I'm gonna do is that we're here. Go for 4 frames. And we're gonna do this. And we're gonna extend this out like way more, so it's gonna be way up here. Again, I'm just some little baby animator. I don't get paid for this shit. Well, I mean, technically I do, but I haven't made an animation in a while. Right, and then we're gonna be up here. We're gonna hold this frame for a sec. We're gonna give it just a little bit of up. Just like that. Right, so we're here. Weep, 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 weep. No, I don't want Ulda. I do not want Ulda. Give me something else. Here we go. This'll work. Skipping ahead. So we hang out here, and then we get big where the arms can go down. Oh, Dakota, thank you for the 10.
Here's some payment and appreciation less than 3.
Right, so now we hit this part, and the head is gonna dip. So we're gonna get like a little bit of the head here. And then we're gonna let them be completely out of frame. Head's gonna drop with it, so it's gonna all go down. And then we're gonna get a shot here with the tip of the blade. Right? Tip of the blade. This is gonna move a lot faster, and I want it to end here. And then it's gonna stick, and then we're gonna kind of zoom out actually. So we're gonna put this here, and we're gonna put a knee here, a foot here, right? And then we're gonna kind of get like a little swoop in the center. And then again, we're just gonna kind of zoom out and then make this swoop like way bigger. But this center bit is gonna get smaller. And even this knee and this foot are also gonna get smaller. Sometimes I remind myself that I'm actually very good at the things that I do. And then I kind of want this next one to be this big circle, and then our character like leaned over here. Because now we have this as the center of the shot. Like that. Right, and then we hold there for maybe a few seconds. And then we can, well, I'm gonna actually do this. And then we'll get like a little blurp and a little blurp. And then out of the little blurps will come ants. Because that's basically the same thing that happens in the actual animation, is that like little hands come out. Right? Actually, here, where they drop this, that goes up, hangs for a sec, and then this drops down. So that should be way faster. And now, all together, as you can see, from somebody who only knows a basic amount of fucking shot composition, and this is with like, and you do what? What is that, Weiss? What do you do? What? You do 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 what? Show me again. You do what? Versus little baby me. Little old baby me. Little baby me. Oh boy. Little baby me that cares about what is that? Like shot composition and making sure my character is like in place and doing things and stuff. Like, oh boy. Maybe I should just do like a fight animation. Honestly, that was like really easy. Let's not talk about that. Took me like 8 minutes. Yeah, no, it's shot composition is not difficult actually. So again, just not to keep ragging on it, but like again, I am okay with Weiss or this character kind of like sliding over here and recovering. Even in this corner, because they did something over here to section stuff off, whatever, who cares? Or they slid into frame. They could have like slid into frame, settled back up, and then like decided they need to do this. And it's like, all right, I gotta stab and summon, right? I gotta do a little bit of summoning. And again, I swapped it so that when we came here, we were directly in front of them to really get that character acting. And then also to keep all of the action on the same line. This is a big thing that Monty Ohm was very, very good with, is he really, really worked with lines. Lines of action are huge and important, and not just in figure drawing. I know if you figure drawed with me before, you know I say like lines of action a lot. But it's the same thing that happens in comics as well. Again, like is where everything connects, is why I'm good at what I do. Is that readability is super duper fucking important, right? And everything that is happening here happens kind of on this line. And whenever a shot changes, it needs to recontextualize where your eyes should be, right? So think of it like this, right? We spend a good few seconds in this shot over here, right? Technically. If I was to fully render this or something, your eyes are going to pretty much immediately jump to this bit, right? So this little action here, that's enough time for your eyes to look and see what's going on over there. They're flipping the sword, they're doing whatever, right? And then what I do after that, this is the importance of shot composition. This is for everybody who wants to learn about shot composition, is I have now moved the shot. But where did I move the shot? This is a teaching moment. Answer on your phones now. Answer your phones and text. Put your answers in chat. Where did I move the focus of this frame for this shot? It went from somewhere to somewhere else. It is not a trick question. It is not harder than you think it is. It's a very easy question. Okay, maybe it's a trick question. Not closer. It's a line. It's a line. Think that there's like an invisible crosshair. Not even a crosshair. The center. Mouse got it. All right. There you go, mouse. Not closer. Center. I moved your focus to the center of the screen. In front of them in the center. Very good. See, over here, if we follow along as best as you can, right? If we grab a red, over here is the focus of our frame, right? And then our focus moves here, right? Now watch this. Ready? I'm going to blow your fucking minds. I'm going to blow your fucking mind. Check this out. I'm moving the red line center, right? That's all I'm doing here. Follow the red line. Can you easily notice how your eyes just go whoop straight to the center? It probably doesn't even take this full distance of time that this red line is moving. If I get rid of this keyframe. And then every other piece of action for the rest of this shot happens dead in the center. There is not another change or reframing or anything. Everything in this full motion, after the motion has been set up, happens on that line. Again, even though that this character is over here on the left side, and we see the beginning of the action over here, I give enough character moment, enough of a character, like a character acting moment with the eyes opening for you to adjust and pick up on what's going on. Right? And then the rest of the action happens. We get anticipation promptly followed by action or payoff or whatever you want to call it. And then this zoom out that while, you know, you have the context of, oh, they're picking up their sword and slamming it into the ground, it zooms out to show why they're doing it, right? You have full context throughout this entire sequence here of what's going on. If we hop back over the RWBY, this is the biggest problem the show fucking has. Right? We have, oh my God, do you see how fast these shots are? Like she's there. Okay, so she's very good. It's over here on the left side of the screen. Very, very good. Very, very nice. And then we get shot over here. And, you know, she's still on the same side of the screen. She gets that. And then she just drops. But look where she drops. And look where the sword is. Sword is in the center of the screen. Sword is in the center of the screen. And she drops down. And we end up here at her skirt. Why are we here at her skirt? We should be here at her sword. And then this sword goes all the way into the ground. A little bit of a camera shake happens. We settle here for a sec, and then we pull way far back so that we can see this growing circle and then the night guy come out of it, right? Why do we do that? Why is that what we do? Could be a stream highlight. If you guys say so, hey, I'll do it. Because again, over here, this starting position is fine. This is a great starting position. Hold on, I gotta pull it back up. Great starting position. Fantastic, right? And then we cut to this close-up. And yeah, I put it dead center, but they decide to do it on, they basically zoom in on where the character's already at. But do you also notice how much of the background changes between these two frames? Are you picking up on that? These are frames, by the way. I'm not moving 10 seconds forward. These are... She goes from opening her eyes to closing her eyes again with this same grit teeth expression. Opens her eyes and just drops. Now again, she's dropping center, right? That's fine. But then your eyes have to adjust to over here. So now you're over here, but now you have to go back over here. What? Do you see what I'm talking about though? I wonder if I could like recreate this in a different manner. I wonder if I could do like snipping tool or some shit. Or if I had like, ooh, wait, no, I'm smart. Wait, I'm so brilliant. Hold on. Wait, I'm brilliant. Hold on, shut up. Hold on. I gotta do this. Hold on. I'm so brilliant. I want to make sure it gets saved somewhere where like it's not gonna get dicey. Saving as PNG red line. No. Red line, PNG, transparent. There we go. Okay. So we're going to hop back over here. We're going to go back to general streaming. This is my red line, right? Here we go. So I'm going to grab my lovely red line that I just made. I think it's in thumbnails. Red line. Yep, there it is. Okay. And I'm just going to boop. There's my red line. All right. This is a quite literal red line. So you're going to start here. This is your line of where your eyes are. Okay. So are Ruby and Yang. I have all the Nendoroids. Again, mentioning Ruby is pressing a button. Okay. You get a document if that's not evidently clear. We were supposed to be playing Final Fantasy VII. So red line. Again, it moves so fast. Again, when you really pick and choose here, hell, even here, we start here. And then we get very, very quick, very, very, very fast. This shot here for a few frames. This shot here. Again, this can be here. I'm going to match it up with the hilt. And then you move forward just a little bit to her dropping down. And we hit skirt. Why is the sword over here? This is the thing that we should be paying attention to. This is our line of action. This is where most of the action is happening. And again, now we have to move over here. What? Why? Why are we doing that? Why is that what we're doing? Hey, let's do it with this one, shall we? Let's do it with the Nora. Let's do it with the Nora killing the thing. All right, ready?
Heads up!
All right, so we get pretty much line of action here. That's where her feet are. Line of action here. Line of action is barely moved. Hey, are you noticing something? I don't know if you guys may or may not have noticed something. I didn't have to pause at all to adjust the line because everything that just happened was on the line. I mean, I might have to move it over just like a little bit. Oh, look at where the line is. Oh, look where the line is. I don't have to move it an inch. This is Monty Ohm, by the way, working on the line. It's where all the action happens, even during this little sequence here. Even just this, when they all start landing. Look how the camera moves. This is genius. Even with Ren falling over. He crosses the line. He's like before the line and he stands there just long enough for your eyes to adjust. Oh my God. Like, come on. And then we get to this part. Ready? Here, I'm going to move it in like real time. I'm barely moving it at this point. This camera work is so impeccable. Everything is front and center, even with all these different actions going on.
Of course you would come up with this idea. Think you can make the shot?
Can I?
Can? Of course I can.
Are you noticing what I'm talking about? That is your line of fucking action through and fucking through. Eyeballs. There's no wasted anything. All right, let's do this whole fight. Let's do this whole fight really quick. All right? I might struggle here a little bit. I'm going to start it fresh from Shanoob. All right, so we open here. And we're over here for some reason. Now we're back over here. Now we're like confused. Now we're over here. Shot, reverse shot. So why shot, reverse shot is fucking obnoxious. Now we're here, we're over there, we're landing here. We're over here, we're over there, we're over there, we're over here. We're over here, we're there. Oh, she falls. Oh, we're here. You're seeing her. We're seeing this. Okay, that didn't move. He's over here now. He's here. That was there. This is there. I'm like losing it on this. That moves. That's like there. She falls out of frame. We're back over here.
Don't think I'm going to let you take the easy way out.
Here, we're here. 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 Here, here, here. That's just bad camera work in general. We're back here. 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 There. There. There, technically. There now. There. 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 Technically there. 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 There, 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 there. There, there. 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 Can I see if I did this in any of my films? Hold on. I got it. I gotta know. I does have to I gotta know. No, you know what? I'll do Forrest Gump. Let's do Forrest Gump, sure. We're here. Foot. There. Technically, we could be there. We see this. And this. And this. Oh, we're mostly center here, I guess. She leaves frame. Yeah, center frame. Center frame. We see her walk across. There. Center frame. Center frame. Good job, me. Punch. Yeah, okay. Back to center frame. Over here. Did I do good? Oh, I did my job! Oh my god, I did my job! Oh my god, I did my job! I did my job. I'm so proud of myself. Little baby animator. Little baby animator. Who do little baby job. Little baby job animator. Yes. Little, hold on. I gotta check like my magnum opus, my fucking piece de resistance, my fucking, I like thicker. Yeah. Duh. Who don't? Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna skip like a little bit of hop. All right. Yeah. Oh, we're here. And even as she crosses that middle point, that's when the crow flies off. So that all happens in one sequence. And we're over here with the walking. And we go center. And we should stay center for a lot of this. Yup. Yup, still center. Very good. Turn up just a little bit. That stayed center. That's still center. Still center. That's like there, kind of. That's there. It's there. That follows there to land there. There, still technically. There. To there-ish. Yeah, good. It's like good follow action. IMO. It's my work, so it's, you know, I'm gonna fluff my own feathers a little bit. Just getting up. Center. Still center. It's like there, there, there. They're all centered in frame, pretty much. Kind of there. Comic medium, since those are still images. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. It's camera work. It's not just in animation, and it's not just in movies. It's the same thing that I mentioned in the comic tutorial. Actually, here, I'll get rid of the red line. I did like a good example of it in the comic tutorial. Where is it? Hold me. And I'm a comic. Shut up, me. I don't want to hear myself. Where is it? No, that's not it. Narrative. When did I mention it? Readability. Where is it? It's like a little bit that I did with like Smiling Friends. Oh, here it is. A really complex situation that's going on right here. Yep. See, the way to think of a panel is like you're watching a show. Every time a new dialogue pops up or something interesting happens, you pause the show. That no, she was counting. She was counting on her hand. Dialogue, the expressions, the background, the shot composition, all of it becomes locked into this one picture. This. See this? Same diff. Same diff. Actually, if I pull up, let's grab like a random thing of, here, we'll do one random page. Technically another random page. Let's do a more recent page, another random page. No, you gotta imagine the red line. Here, I'll take the fedora off. Same-ish diff. Again, mostly when it comes to this sort of stuff, or comics anyways, you want readability and flow. Actually, wait, I have one that's redlined. Where is it? There it is. Oh, just the one. I just want the one. There we go. All right, so when it comes to comics, it's a little bit more complicated because somebody is reading, so they're like flipping from one to the other to the other. So how you put in both dialogue and character locations also helps. So for instance, if we go here, right, we get this into this, into this, into this, into this, right? That's kind of how it works. Because this is shot, this is shot, this is action to action, if that makes sense. I might need to turn this into a video as well, actually. This is good to talk about. So think of it like when you're filming, right? Or you're watching like a movie or something. Imagine going from one location to another location, right? Or aiming at one character and then looking at a different character. Trying to think of like a good example, like a good off the rip example. Let me use I'm actually going to use The Amazing Digital Circus really quick. We're going to grab,
Wait, what's that?
we're going to do episode 3. And we're going to go to the part where they're like walking here.
Sometimes it all just feels... And cherish the people around you. You never know when they'll be...
Here we go. A coincidence? No, I chose that because I like RWBY. Again, I told you, you were getting a fucking document. Now we're just talking about animation and stuff. You press the animation button. So, think of it like this. This right here is a shot. Okay? When you have a new shot and you're filming from a specific angle, right? Your brain is going to reset. It is okay to reset with your brain. Your brain's just going to do that because now you're taking in a whole new image, right? And then when it swaps to another shot like this is now new information. This is new things to look at, right? Okay. That's what's happening here, is that this is a shot to a different shot. These are two different pieces of information, and you're going to look at them at different times, right? Okay, the heterochromia bit is actually a wholesale thing, mostly because I was making a Hrothgar in Final Fantasy XIV, and I wanted them to be unique, and I jumped on heterochromia white cat. And then I became a wolf, so I'm no longer a cat. But these shots, right? This is one shot, this is one shot. This is an action. This is basically the same shot, but something changes in the shot. Right? So it's a different camera hold, I guess I should be saying, instead of a shot. So like...
Very brave. At least
this. See that? See that little... The difference between where we were... Hold on, let me duplicate so I can do a better job explaining.
Stay.
What happened up here?
Don't worry about that.
Pomni was very brave.
All right, so this is a shot. Okay, this is a camera hold. Our camera is looking at this, and this is where we are, right? Then we have, nope, a different action in the same camera hold. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, technically. Camera 1 or 2, camera 1, right? And the reason is because it's basically doing this. We're going from action 1 to action 2. And then our camera moves again. It's a new camera shot. Every time you do a new camera shot, you can do a new action. Ragatha and Kinger share the focal point. Kind of. It's actually more like, here, if I bring back the red line. The red line's right here. If anything, Ragatha and Jax are framing Pomni and Kinger. Everyone's body language is pointing inwards. This is a 1 point perspective shot. I have gremlins in my room, apparently. I'm seeing shit. Jax's eyes are moving towards Kinger. Ragatha's body language is facing both of them. Our eyes go dead center here. This is right where we're at. Okay? Same diff happens here. Even though technically Kinger takes more focus because he's separating himself a little bit more and he's the focal point, everyone is still looking at him. Look at how little changes between these two shots, even though Kinger's full body has changed. Right? Yeah, Pomni can move a little bit. Jax's shoulders move a little bit. But going from boop to boop, you can see the clear transition in how it works. But because this is a single shot, you know, this is our camera hold, if you will. And filmography and cinematography is like my favorite fucking thing because it's awesome. I gotta make you guys watch fucking more Wes Anderson shit. He loves working with the camera. I love working with the camera like he does. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And again, for comics, it's a little bit more complicated because basically what happens is, what I'm trying to say is that shot / camera hold, whichever one you want to call it, is a reset. And when you reset, you start from left and you go to right. You're reading across. And then you see new information, you go from left, you go to right. Right? Autoplay trip to take you here. Furry giving animation lessons is far from the worst thing to sauce you. I mean, you're welcome, I guess. Hey, you know what? I'm better than that fucking Buddhist, like, relaxing go to sleep thing. I hate that thing. I hate that that's what always turns on for my autoplay when I go to bed. It's annoying. But again, we have this. Like this little loop here. This little action that goes on here. We start with the door opening. We get the 3 dings. We get to the face. We go immediately to the top bubble. And then we loop back down here to It's You, Elise, which is where we kind of come back down into. Because this is also bleeding into this panel, so it's going to come back through here. And also, this is a smaller thing. Regardless of whether or not you actually follow this direction or you start over here, you're actually going to get pretty much the same conversation regardless of which spot you start in. Because if it's like, if you start with, It's You, Elise, she's responding, Sup, boss. But if you read Sup, boss first and go and somehow manage to go all the way up to It's You, Elise, because it's all in the same panel, it's her speaking before he does, even though he's speaking before she does, because we're going in this direction. And then also technically we go back back in this direction. And then we go back in this direction. Because this panel sits over this one and this one. So because of that, this one comes first in the chronological order. And then because she sits over this one, it means this one comes next, which is this dialogue. So it goes boop, boop, boop. Kind of like that. So it's a big zigzag, basically. That's kind of what you want when you're doing comics in general. Like even here, going boop, to boop, to boop, to boop, to boop. See how that works? Comic pages are a lot more complicated because you're trying to gently coax somebody through a full page. And you're trying to make it as comfortable for them to read as possible while still also being legible as well. This readability is super important across the board for anything you're doing, whether it's animation or comic work or even just illustrations in general too. You want your compositions in general to be as easy to digest as possible, because the more complexity there is, the more it's going to stress out the person looking at it. And that's not a bad thing. Again, I'm not going to make my usual Jackson Pollock bit, but I'm going to bring up a Jackson Pollock. Here, let's do my classic. I like this one a lot. Right? Bunch of mess, bunch of junk, bunch of whatever. We all, you know, if you've been here before, you know my fucking rant about it and how much like, oh, it's human activity and it like no computer or anything will ever be able to replicate the exact amount of paint that's on this cap. What? Who cares? The reason I'm bringing this up is because this would stress you out. This probably does stress you out a little bit if you really just like sit there and look at it. I'm gonna give you some time to sit there and look at it, and you're probably gonna notice like new little things and little splotches, and it's going to overload your brain a lot. And it's gonna suck. It's not very fun to look at one of these. It's interesting and it's neat, and when you know what you're looking for, you go, You didn't read it proper, but there's an episode of Absolute Batman and Wonder Woman that the panels are like stained glass window. Those are cool. That sounds cool. I tried doing stained glass window stuff. It's like forever ago. It's like being back in college listening to a lecture again. Good. I'm glad. Means I somehow learned how to teach, I guess. Kind of. But this is going to stress you the fuck out, right? That's the point I'm making. If you're looking at it, it's probably stressing you out a little bit. Whether it's actively making you upset and pissing you off, like the fucking rock. I don't like this rock, Robert. It's pissing me off. Issue. Where'd you say issue? You said issue? I don't think your first message sent issue. But imagine trying to decipher this if it was this, right? Like if I want somebody to read and look at my work and like enjoy what I've written and have fun with this story and, you know, follow the narrative, why am I going to go to such lengths to make it near impossible to fucking understand? Because guess what? And this is brain took over. Don't worry about it. Okay, fair enough. Here's the big kicker, right? And this is the thing I always say for everybody. This is for everyone. Your audience are a bunch of fucking idiots. Okay? The more work you make them do, the more they're not going to look at your thing. You cannot give them homework. Don't do that. Like Hail Mary was wonderful. Oh yeah. Yeah, Mouse was talking about that. Yeah. This is work. This is effort. This is a lot of work. Hey, guess what? When we go all the way back to not the three principles or whatever, blah 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 blah. If we go all the way back to going back here. Here we go. We're gonna skip the intro.
Name really means
I'm not going to redline this. Look how much work your eyes have to do to follow this fight.
Prove it. Don't think I'm going to let you take the easy way out.
It starts red. Now you're like paying attention to how much work this is to look at. Halo, Final Fantasy 15, Kingdom Hearts, Destiny, Star Wars. Dude, you can just like, you can go do something. Also, can we, I know I was on something else. What is, girl, what is this throw? What is this? What is this? Do I gotta do it again? Hold on, I gotta do it again. Hold on, guys, I gotta do it again. Choreography wise, yep, that's exactly how we got. Exactly we got on this topic, actually. So what is it? It's like it's a 3/4. It's not a 3/4. It's a side turn. They're basically walking. How is their body positioned? 3/4 turn there. Boop, 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 boop. They're basically walking like this for most of it. So their hand is directly in front of their face. The spear is about here. And somehow the arrow is like this, I guess. And then wait, where is that? That's like above her eye, and this is like level with her, which is already a very awkward position for that to be in. Because that's like there, and then that's like there, and that's like this? What the fuck? Who is doing this? And for what? And it's like she's walking, I guess. So we'll give it like 2 frames. And then I'll do like this. And I'll put her up. And then I'll do this. And we'll do this. And we'll go there like that. Nope. There like that. Start here. 1, 2. Looks like a weak ass throw. Oh yeah, no, it does. So now we got. Well, let's give them like a slower kind of bounce to their walk a little bit. By the way, this is I don't want to say animation is easy, but this is how simple animation can be. Okay. Let's give it again, just to give the walk like a bit more gravitas. I'm gonna give it like a bit more time. We're gonna extend out the time just like a little bit. Boop doop doop. And then we're gonna go here. And if anything, I would probably lurch the head and body more forward as she like pulls back on it, I guess. So like the hand would technically be the focal point. That's where the spear is. That's where that goes. So it'd technically be more like this. I guess I would definitely need a frame in between to kind of bridge that gap a little bit. Because that moves very, very quickly. It's already a bit of an issue. Move that there, move that there, move that there, move that there. Put that hand behind the head, and then we're just going to add like a little bit of detail to the back. So you can see it's kind of like turning outwards like this. Probably put that like at a 4. How does that look so far? It's like, okay. Have a good night, Hollowed. If I like this, I'll probably post it so you can see it when it's done. And I guess I'll make this into a highlight as well. And then we'll kind of like... I actually know nothing about throwing a javelin. I've done it before. I used to do track and field, but I haven't done that in years. Have a good night as well, Badger. All right, so now we're here. His head can kind of settle back a little bit. I think this can be like our center point. And then it's like... I always do like a settle. If I ever go outside and toss a fairly long tree branch, just required to hurl it. Yeah. No, again, I used to do javelin, part of track and field, but I haven't done it in years. The closest that's probably come to it is like throwing a sword. And even that's like a little different. So we'll do the settle. Kind of sits back a little bit, I guess. Technically, it's all in the same frame. So it's like... And then I kind of want like a almost spin, like a fucking... Because I want her to still be elegant, because I understand what they're going for. They want it to seem like an effortless throw, but it still has to be like... The head kind of needs to dip here. This shoulder needs to be over here. Why throw a sword? Hold on, I got you. Not to get like further distracted, but I got you. I got you. Skip ahead a little bit. Skip. They do a few more of those somewhere. Okay. Thought they did more. Do the thing. Do the thing. Do the thing. That. That's why. Because it works. It can work. It can work really well. So we'll do... And then we'll do this. So it'll settle. So the head will settle back here a little bit. The body will be back here. Kind of. I know I kind of chunked her up a little bit, but. And it's like a big line back here. And same thing back here too, is I kind of want to show that this is like very fast. And then we'll kind of get this sort of settle here. And this is just using the same, I would not have framed this at all like they did, if I'm being entirely honest. I understand what they were going for, but I think it was not well handled in the slightest. Yeah, that's kind of all over the place, but that's like, okay. And then like another, I guess another subtle frame. These are not official things that they are called. I just call them that because it's how I taught myself how to figure things out. All right, so that's like another 4. I want like another 4 frames. Yeah. There. So how does that look? Just off of the cup. All right, well, when she throws it, it kind of has to be very fast. So I need that to be 1s, 2s, and 3s, because it was on 4, so it was a little slower. And just in general, I know this is the most memed on thing, but you can actually see the reason why it was a problem is because of she pulls back, and then when she goes to throw, this is where she lets go. And then she just kind of pushes it. She's pushing. It doesn't have like its own force, I guess. Like even just using like a javelin in general, you gotta like rear back for that shit. You know, you can't just, it's like there's so much. Hold on, I gotta like stand up for this. Bear with me. If I grab my little lightsaber, I'm not gonna throw this in my room because that's stupid. If I'm holding this back and I need to throw it, and I'm gonna throw it forward, and I'm holding it like that, and I'm just gonna go. Eh. Actually, my arm moves on a straight line when I do that. If I want to throw my lightsaber forward, just in a straight fuck you line, I'm not gonna like lurch up. She lurches up when she does it. Which is why that looks extra jank and really light. Is because it looks like she's pushing it out and then like yucking it. Which is dumb. You don't do that. Also, if you're gonna throw something a distance, you're probably gonna have it more like level with your body in like a upward arc so that you can get like height on it at least. I don't know. Whoever choreographed that fucking fight is a silly little goose. All right, I guess I'll have to save this. And then also she just like stood there and took it. And also it wasn't even like a center hit. Like what was this throw, Cinder? Honey, you almost actually missed. Like you didn't even go through her spine. You didn't go. Also, wait, hang on. Wait, no, it's getting worse the longer I look at it. Hold on. Because that's the shape of that wouldn't go through. That at no point actually would have gone through her. Because of its shape. What? Huh? What do you? Huh? No, but it's oh my brain. Oh God, I'm gonna be like Kenji Queso when he has the fucking nosebleed. Hold on. Okay, new thing to complain about. Anya, you're so on the money, but it's even worse than you realize. So here's this great thing about like weapons and stuff is that like when there's blades, there's like sharp points, and that's what that blade is actually doing. Is it's doing. This is the sharp bit, okay? This is the sharpie sharp bit. This bit is the sharpie part, right? And then it kind of bows in, and I guess the blade kind of stops for some reason, and then it kind of does like a flared base into another flared base. But here's the thing is that from the looks of it, the flared base does not like look like it's sharp. It just kind of looks like it's a handle. I know I'm not doing this justice. It looks questionable. But like you can see it's got like a little bit of an edge to it, but it doesn't have the same like whiteness that it does here. If we get like another, can we get another side shot from that? Yeah, that's got like a, I don't want to say girth to it, but that's kind of what it is that's just like a thing. Like this is definitely a handle. And then this looks like some kind of like pseudo crossguard almost. And it's like step one, if this goes through her, if this manages to go through her, it's going to stop here. This is probably the end of the ripping point. This is probably going to go through, but also this is so thick, it's not going to cut. It's really not. That is such that's something you would have to jab into somebody. I don't care how strong you are or what magic system you have. Throwing something like that isn't going to work because of it. It's like an oversized arrowhead. But the reason why arrowheads work is because they're just like a little bit of weight on the tip of the arrow. And then they're also kind of carried by the Archer's Paradox, which is the arrow wiggling in space to keep it going forward. And then not only does it go through this flared base, it goes through the second flared base too. And now, forgive me, but like, not only just talking about exit wounds, not only just talking about like wounds in general, but as Reggie just said, that's where your fucking rib cage is, girl. Like this is like how she got hit. This is like her rib cage, right? I need like a corners. I mean, Jean is useless. Yes. Like this is how your rib cage is kind of formed. Women tend to have like a rounder one with like larger hips. So this is just kind of like where that kind of falls. And then it's like here. And then this is where all where your juicy guts go. That's kind of where all those be. Because back here is your spine, right? There's your little tailbone. Don't you just love anatomy? Anatomy's great, right? And there's your little, so this is where that goes. And then all your fat stores are there. And then you got your pelvis or whatever. You said that? No, Reggie said that. That's not, it should have passed through the entirety or glanced off her rib cage. A javelin, if it follows basic physics, would land dart in the floor hard. It's so the front head. Exact. Well, again, we're gonna give it like a tiny little bit of grace for magic or whatever. And we're gonna say that this is about like the genera-ish. Yeah. I'm reading it. Reggie 6230. Dude, these dorks can, oh wait. Not you. Reggie 6230. Hold up. That's not even, it should have passed through entirely or glanced off her rib cage if it's a solid object. That's who I'm reading, Anya. Probably. Right? So then we're here. And we're also here. Technically, it would be flipped. But, like, it looks like... Again, I'm going to thin up the goop. This is hitting just underneath the breast, which would still have a good chunk of rib cage, which your rib cage is a lot more solidified in the back than it is in the front. See it? Will it need to be flared for other javelins uses? Anya, I'm gonna move on. So not only is it hitting like basically here, This is where this is hitting. It's basically going through here to here in like a kind of tubish form. Step 1, a large shape like this is going to get caught probably about here. And if it does still pass, there's still the rest of that flared angle that it will probably end about here. I understand why they did what they did, but this is also why Final Fantasy XIV makes the spear that kills a certain person look like this. It's just a beam that goes pew! It's also why in Expedition 33, Renoir's beam is also just a pew! Is because trying to make it a this, which is a very interesting shape, is going to get stuck somewhere along the way, and also is going to hit like rib cage, and it's like I don't know. That's just stupid. Like, the longer I look at that, the more dumb it gets. Yeah, floating ribs. But again, like, the floating ribs themselves aren't cartilage until you get to the very front. And the back is still hard bone. And also, again, she missed. Like, this is hitting the pure side. There's next to no flesh over here. So again, she's hitting all back rib. Like back rib cage. Probably back muscle as well, which it would have to rip through. Not only just that, again, the exit wound would have to be massive. I don't care if they got like healing abilities or whatever. This is just dumb. And then doesn't it like disappear or whatever? Like, obviously there's some dumb shit that has to... Everybody just stops fighting. She's not dead, also. That's like... You're not dead. You're not dead. You're not dead. What's even over there? That doesn't even puncture a lung, actually. That doesn't do anything. Her lungs are like up here, presumably. That might like cut a lung. And her heart is here. That might be like a tummy. That's definitely like internal damage, yeah. But that's not like insta death. Hell, even because it's magic and there's no like blood, it somehow suggests that like the internal damage is being withheld. So it's not like she's bleeding out. She's bleeding internally, but not out. So like she won't die, which I mean doesn't happen. She doesn't die. She makes it on to the next series, but even still. Goddamn. All right. We've gone longer than I intended to. We've almost been streaming for 9 hours. I do want to finish this section of the game, and then we'll save, and then we'll call it a night. So that's basically me saying,